want to talk to you guys about 5 things you should know about when you go to get a puppy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the biggest challenge is people really don't know how to analyze. It's because it's such an emotional decision.
It is.
Of getting a puppy. And so you forget all these things that you want to look at or think about, or what you have to do, or what questions do we ask. And we can put it down to 5 simple things that you should know before you go purchasing a puppy. It doesn't have to be that difficult. And so let's first talk about the gamut of things that we have seen that people call themselves breeders that you can buy a puppy from.
Sure.
So the first one that comes to mind is there's these puppy mills, and I don't know that a lot of people even know what a puppy mill is, and obviously we can go way into that. But a puppy mill is an organization that mass produces more than 2 to 3 breeds, and you it's just a selection, or you could look up, let's say look up poodles, and in there they have poodles and schnoodles and Maltipoos, and and then there's not a real, their web pages are immaculate. They're beautiful.
Well, it's all the same place. Like,
yeah,
that's the main thing, is you go on one website for one person and have all these breeds.
Right.
Multiple.
Yep.
Like 5 or more
Yeah.
types of breeds of dogs that they're selling all at the same time.
Yeah. And they don't really have a kennel name, if you will, that you can research back into anything. And the new thing with these puppy mills is they have these home fronts.
Yeah, like you think you're buying it from someone's home.
Yeah.
Like their Cocker Spaniel or their Poodle or their Shih Tzu just happen to have puppies.
Yeah.
And they want, them to go to a good home and sell them. But then they also have all of those breeds going at the same time.
Yep.
Their dog just happened to have puppies.
And then they typically don't allow you to see the mom and the dad either. Some of them do. Some of them are getting very tricky about how they're turning
presenting
dogs.
themselves.
I had our Italian Greyhound that we had. He came from a puppy mill back east. And we ended up adopting him from one of my clients. And she said she just walked into this big warehouse full of puppies, and there wasn't any. There was no home field. There wasn't any. You just picked out whatever breed you wanted to pick. And I just thought, how did you not know that these are puppy mill puppies? They don't have some kind of health guarantee in the sense of, we'll take the dog back. I'm trying to think of what are the red flags for puppy mill.
Well, I think they, like, if you're looking on a website, they might have pictures, like you say, that look like a home.
Yeah.
But when you talk to them on the phone, like, they won't Skype or do a FaceTime or let you actually see inside their home. Yeah. People that usually are breeding dogs in their home will have lots of pictures of the dogs in parts of their home that you can recognize as a home.
As a home,
They're in the kitchen, they're in the yard, and there aren't like corresponding pictures. Like, they have this is the outside, the facade of our home, but when you see actual pictures or films of the puppies, they're not in a home environment. Yeah. Where if they were being raised in a home, they would have those kind of pictures and videos and Skype you and like let you watch the dogs and stuff like that. They don't want you to see inside like what's going on, so there won't be like any interior videos or pictures on their website. Yeah.
And they're typically pretty expensive.
Just like I feel like dog kind of prices are kind of like all kind of expensive.
They
for
are
pure
high,
dogs.
But it definitely you'll pay more. You'll see it just a little bit higher, and people think, oh, it's more money. It must be
a better dog.
A better dog. and that's not true. So the next kind of home or situation that you're going to go into is somebody that is not even a hobby breeder. They just happen to breed their dog, and they have puppies. And they don't really have any rhyme or reason why they bred their dog. They just had 2 golden retrievers, and they bred them. And usually in that situation, the puppies are like in a great big pen-ish when you get to go see them. It's not overly clean. The puppies haven't really been exposed to a whole lot. And you just get to go in and pick one out of the box. And that's what most people would call a backyard breeder. Is there's no thought process of, and some of them have these little weird contracts, and most of them don't. It's just you exchange money and you walk out the door with a puppy, with or without papers. Depends on the situation. And then you have some hobby breeders that do some showing or have done showing, and they really love the breed, and they're maybe have one female, or they own the dad and they are helping a breeder, if you will. Or they co-own a dog with a breeder. I would consider all those are hobby breeders. And you typically would work with, they would say, well, the breeder of this is da-da-da-da-da, and they'll rattle off a name, and this is who we're working with. So if you have any questions, or if you, I follow, Jane Smith's way of doing things, so they usually have some kind of a breeder that's mentoring them, or they're helping, if you will, is what I call a hobby breeder. The home is typically clean. They're more focused on the appearance and the look of the dog, not necessarily full commitment to temperament of the dogs. And they typically won't pick or select a dog for you either. You just go in and sit and hang out with them, and then they...
You say, oh, I like this one. Oh, somebody already bought that one. Yeah. Okay, I'll have this other
or
one.
Here's your pick because you paid 4th, so you get 4th pick. So, you can come after the first 3 people have, So it's kind of that, like you pick, but you're on a list, and whoever pays first gets pick of the litter-ish, whatever
and
that
still,
means.
it's just like one breed of dog. Like they're interested in one breed of dog. They love it. That's why it's their hobby. And so they just deal with one breed all the time.
And then you have breeders. And I don't, I'm not really opposed to getting a puppy from the backyard breeder, from the hobby breeder, or the breeder. But you do get what you pay for in the beginning. As far as I shouldn't even say you get what you pay for, because that's not even the right verbiage. You get what you see, if you will. So if you're working with a reputable breeder, they're going to spend a lot of time getting to know you. They may not even take your money because they don't know that they would have a dog for you. Or they put you on a list, you put a deposit down, and when they have a dog that they feel like suits you, then you would have to give the full amount, and they select the dog for you. And most breeders are exposing the puppies to new things and exploring and stresses and no stresses and different temperatures and different sounds and
surfaces
outside and inside and places and they really spend a lot of time helping the puppies be successful in their new homes. They're pretty over the top sometimes and hard to deal with
because they love their dogs the most of any dogs in the world. And their dogs are the best breed, no matter what kind of you're looking for. They are like the champions of their own dog, and they'll say, oh, well, I will have a perfect dog for you. We just have to wait for it to come, right? But it's going to be the best one. And so they're really enthusiastic about they're breeding the dog and that they love this breed and it's perfect. And, so that's sometimes a little why they're hard.
And so then it becomes, it can kind of take the fun out of the spontaneity of going out and picking a puppy.
Right, which is when, all the planning goes out the window, right?
Yeah.
Because people are like, we want to get a dog.
For the summer.
And then we start planning what that is. And then there's this point where people is like, let's just go look at these dogs.
Yeah.
And
see of what we think and if we like them.
Yeah. And that's when all the planning just goes right out the window.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes this emotional decision.
Yeah, because then they see this litter and the backyard breeder says, oh, we've got, they're all available.
Yeah.
And then the kids get involved and you get involved and emotionally you're ready for a dog and then you're not, then you get what you see. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more to, that people can do to set their puppies up to be successful so that people can be successful. Mm-hmm. And I'm a firm believer that if you get the right dog, then the less training that you have to do in the sense of connection.
Right, because you want to plan to pick a breed of dog that fits your lifestyle or your expectation of what you want the dog to be before you go and look at them.
Yeah, right.
So,
so if we, for example, I got Caroline from an incredible, reputable breeder. Mm-hmm. And she had 2 litters prior to. And 1, I wasn't ready. And 2, there wasn't one in the litter that fit what I was looking for and what I wanted. And what she felt like she could produce for me. And then it was that 3rd litter, and then I still was like, am I ready? We kind of had a lot of transition happening with our own dogs at that time, and but it, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I needed to do, and I just needed to be patient because she had others that I could have that were older that I could have just gone in and got, but that's not, that wasn't my goal. And so sticking to it is important. So we sat there and watched a live video for a snippet of time today of a border collie breeder working dogs. And when they went live, what did we see going on?
Oh, the place was so clean. Lovely, safe looking for the dogs. And they had all kinds of everything. Different surfaces for the dog to walk on, like rugs and hardwood and dog beds and squishy things and hard things and things that were different heights, things the dogs could climb on, things the dogs could climb under. There was toys, all different kinds, like soft toys, hard toys, chewy toys, weird shaped toys. They were giving them a treat of bones.
So and they were about 4 weeks old.
The little puppies were chewing on their little bones, having a great old time. And it was just like beautiful, like the variety that you would provide for a child, like a toddler in their playpen. This was like the ultimate dog playpen, I'd say.
I agree. It was so fantastic, and those bones were about the size of the puppies, where it was so funny.
Oh yeah,
they were just rolling on top and just chewing down and stuff.
They were having fun. It was a new experience. For them. I think first time they had bones.
I think that's what she said.
So they had all these things to play with, to experience, and then this breeder's providing them new experiences every day to help grow their mind.
Set them up to be successful. So if we start at the top, we've named all these things. One more puppy mill story is prime example of my client saying, I want you to help me get a dog. I want you to do this. And then all of a sudden an emotional decision was made, and they had this puppy shipped from back east. And I kept telling her, you're dealing with puppy mill. I wouldn't do it. And literally 2 weeks after she got the puppy, it had died. And very sick when she got it. And that's another like kind of a thing that happens really is they're healthy. Really not healthy.
Yeah.
Puppies will sometimes, when they are shipped, they'll poop in their crate depending upon their flight.
Sure.
But it's not poop everywhere and they're smothered in it and they stink. You know,
Sure.
Usually they've pooped and it's kind of messy and they kind of have that icky smell, but it's not filth. And I've noticed that a lot of puppies that are puppy mills have a filth about them, for sure. And so it can be really sad, and she never got her money back. She, the breeder just quit contacting, and nothing was done, and it was really, it was a really sad situation. And in 2 weeks, she get attached pretty fast.
Yeah. People get attached as soon as they decide which dog that they want.
Right. And then, so top 5 things. 1, be patient. Don't put a timeline of getting a dog.
Right. You just kind of have to put out this idea.
Yeah.
Like, I want a dog.
Yep.
And as you start researching and figuring it out, it's this unexplainable phenomenon that the dog finds you on the timeline that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. So if you put it out there and you're being patient, but everything is going well and all these things that we're talking about fall into line, and you get the dog really soon, that's okay.
Great.
That's
first,
sure. That was the timeline for that dog.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to wait several months, maybe a year, maybe more. It depends, but it's because the right dog is coming to you. So you just have to be patient and wait, because the dog the wish you sent out into the universe, I want this dog, it takes time for the dog to come. It sounds really goofy.
No,
but it's totally true.
Yep. And I think that, living like that when you're ready to get a dog, you may discover over that time that you don't want a newborn 8-week, 12-week-old puppy.
Sure.
Maybe it now becomes that there's this one that's 4 months old and has all the rough stuff already started, and that's the direction that you should go in. My 2 border collies came to us older. One, because the breeder likes to work her dogs first to see what their style is and what, so she can give me a fair assessment of, I picked this dog for you because, and give me, from personality, from working, from, so, they came to me older, which normally I wouldn't do. But from what I'm looking for and what I wanted in a herding dog, that's the direction that I went into. So that's definitely patience, being patient about putting it out there. I'm still patiently waiting for the right giraffe to come.
Okay. I'm all about that.
Soon. I shouldn't say soon.
It's the timeline.
It's whatever's going to happen.
Right.
You may have a giraffe head that meets you at the door when you show up. This hangs in my backyard.
I'm ready for you to have a giraffe.
Yeah, me too. I just want to hug its leg and just have its lips.
Oh, they do have interesting lips.
Yeah.
Grab things.
Yeah. Someday, there's that movie that is called something about We Bought a Zoo or something like that.
Yes.
That I think maybe might be my calling. it might be that. I don't want
all kinds of zoo things.
No.
Just a little weird.
I just want the ability to have a giraffe.
Okay, yeah. Great.
That's really maybe, some of the herbivores that we don't need any predators.
Okay.
If you will.
Yes, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, patience.
1.
2 would be look at least 5 different breeds. Even if it is a breed that you would never consider, figure out and do the homework. why you wouldn't consider.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, let's say we're looking at a Bichon and a Schnauzer, and you're going to you're going to entertain a German Shepherd, and, what about a Border Collie?
Mm-hmm.
And then what about a Chihuahua?
Mm-hmm.
All these different looks,
mm-hmm.
different personalities. You may be sold
mm-hmm.
on this one breed,
mm-hmm.
but I recommend at least looking at and researching 5 more, so
mm-hmm.
this is truly why I want this breed.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to all the breeders, because the breeders are either going to make you more excited
mm-hmm.
or less excited
mm-hmm.
about getting the breed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with a puppy mill, is they're not going to be honest about, they're going to just say it's great and a lovely breed, and they're going to regurgitate everything that's out there about why a breed is so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But breeders will almost try and talk you out of.
They're really picky about who they want to sell their dogs to.
Yeah, because they don't want their dogs to come back. They don't want their dogs to be ruined. They don't want their name out there being
They
slaughtered.
love their breed.
Yeah.
But they really, really are picky, and so they will try to convince you. Or, you have to convince them that you're, the right.
Right.
You're the right one for their dog, right?
Yep.
And the reasons are the same.
Right.
Why you're right for their dog and why the dog's right for you is the same.
Yep.
So.
And I think that if you're trying to get a feel of what we're trying to say about breeders and how quirky and how funny they are, you should watch The Dog Show. Isn't that what it's called?
Best in Show.
Best in Show, that's what it's called. Because that'll give you an idea of the extremeness of the weirdness of breeders and breed showing. It's very extreme. Yeah. But you'll go, oh,
I get it now.
There's terrier people, or and so look at several different breeds. Number 2, patience.
Mm-hmm.
Look at 5 different, completely different classes, sizes, hair type. If you can, if you're not in some allergy spectrum. Number 3 would be find a breeder that exposes the puppies to real life situations from the time they're 4 weeks to the time that they're 8 weeks when they go home. What is the breeder doing? This is the questions of all questions to ask a breeder. What are you doing with your puppies to set them up to come to my house? And if they say, oh, we introduce them to kids and we love them and we have the neighbors come, and that's all great, but do they have 12 different beds in their kennel area that they swap out? Is there several different toys and sounds and bones? Different bowls, and those are the things that you're looking for, because that's what's going to help your puppy be successful in coming into the home. So patience, look at 5 different breeds, and 3, what are you doing to set your puppies up to be successful to come into my home? Number 4 is you need to know what your overall budget for owning the dog. Is it a high maintenance grooming dog? Is it a dog that's difficult to train and you're going to have to put more money into training? Because there are some breeds out there that are just difficult. We talked about on a previous show, Yorkies are very next to impossible to house train. Not saying that they can't be, but it's can you live with that?
Some dogs are predisposed to major health problems.
Right.
And,
and the bulldog, for example.
Yeah, and breeders should know, they should be breeding for certain lines to not have it, but it's just a genetic thing in the lines of dogs. They can have major hip problems that make it so they can't walk anywhere. They can have major problems that need surgery on their knees, on their eyes. They might be predisposed to allergies, which is over the whole life they're going to have reactions to things, and it's never going to get better. Ever. So you can look up the genetic diseases associated with these dogs and decide, like, do you have enough money to pay for all the vet
if
bills?
something happens in that,
if your dog has one of these major problems.
Yeah, yep. And I think the fifth thing for me, you know, in kind of that same realm, is know and understand everything that you can about the breed from a health perspective. You know, what are they, you know, genetically, you know, most people don't know that Border Collies have a disease that they can't absorb B12. And if the breeder hasn't tested for that, and they haven't done some DNA testing and some disease testing, which is so available right now and growing, you know, that if the breeder's not caring enough to not pass on genetics, bad genetics, you probably shouldn't get a puppy from them. And so, you know, not only are breeders interviewing you to see if you're a right fit for their dog, you need to be interviewing the breeders. You know, what genetic testing do you do? What health guarantees do you have, and what does that really mean? And don't be afraid to ask the questions that you need to, once you've done all of your homework. I understand that, you know, German Shepherds are prone to elbow and hip dysplasia. They're prone to eye diseases. They're, you know, what have you done to help the breed to prevent these things from happening? So, you know, to me, know what genetically, you know, each breed could potentially have. Because that's going to be the determining factor of whether you get a dog from that breeder or not. And I'm going to throw in a sixth one, and that is work with a breeder that will select the dog for you. Or is willing to work with a trainer
that can select
that between the breeder and the trainer, they can select the dog from you. So it's really, we're not trying to squash the excitement of a puppy.
No,
but
it's still just as exciting when you think about it a long time.
Yeah, if you're researching and you're studying the things that you will find out, and you start to say, like, yeah, we don't want that breed. We thought we did, but we have all these 4 other options to look at too. And so it's so important that, you know, you understand that when the time is right, that's when it's going to be the most exciting.
Yeah.
And
once the dog gets home,
yeah,
and it fits in your house good, and all these other problems that could have happened from impulse buying the dog are gone. Then it's more enjoyable too. So not only was it exciting and fun, it continues to be fun over the life of the whole dog. Instead of be like fun for the first day, and then you're like, oh no, this was a bad decision. You might feel like that anyway. It's overwhelming to get a puppy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, you'll have more fun, and your life will be more enjoyable in the long run. If you just wait. You know, and don't just like drive by some breeder's house that has their big logo out the front and just stop by and decide to get a dog.
And I've taken many clients on these journeys of dog selection, where I go with them into these places that they're like, oh, look at this, I found this breeder, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And then you get there and you see the look on the, you know, potential owner's face. But then we leave and they're like, I feel so bad for those dogs that I just want to buy one. And you know,
that's not the right emotion.
It's not the right emotion. And so, but I really want people to be educated on, you know, you can have this or you can have this. And I believe that the way that we stop these, you know, we're not going to end it all. We're not going to stop all of this, since, you know, the puppy mills. But if you do your research and you do your studying and you're patient through it, and you understand why you're getting the breed that you're getting, and you understand why you didn't get that breed or that breed, then you will have a better understanding and a knowledge base when you go into these homes and you're looking, that you will have an easier time saying no, because this does not fit into what we've committed to prior to looking at puppies. And spend time. Spend time looking and researching and going into these breeders' places and interviewing them. You know, kind of take it as a documentary and a journey that you're going on. And that's the powerful thing, right? We don't get to choose the way our kids come out, what color their hair is, you know, what color their eyes are. You know, I mean, we kind of have an idea, right, based on genetics, but we don't get that choice. And so when you get that choice, how magnificent it is for you to go, okay, I want this coat, I want this, you know, disposition, I want this temperament, I can live with these certain potential genetic problems. And now you work with the breeder that is setting your puppy up, ready to come home, and have been exposed to so much that the puppy's like, oh yeah, I've got this.
Oh yeah, I love this new place.
Yeah. And they just move right in. And that's when the marriage of dogs and humans makes sense. Because when it all started, that we started connecting with the canines, if the dogs didn't like you, they just left. You know, we weren't trying to like keep them in.
No.
We
only hang around with you as long as you're cool enough.
Right, exactly. Right? Yeah. And so, you know, it is a thing. Like, the dog could just go down the street and find somebody else that maybe has a better hamburger. Or that has a softer bed. Or that laughed with you because, you know, I mean, that's what the dog likes, you know. So if you think about that whole experience, you're truly like taking things back to the way, you know, where this is how come dogs are domesticated and have evolved into our lives, is because they did get to choose in a sense. And so, you know, same with cats. You know, we're going to live at that farm because there's more mice there. And then they put out good stuff, you know. So, you know, put yourself in the other perspective, and it's not just, you know, snag and grab a puppy and away you go, and that it's all going to be, you know, this whole fantastic, you know, happy ever after. It may be just the perfect storm for you, but why not set yourself up to be successful in following just those 5 simple steps? And you will have a lifetime companion that you're prepared for.
Absolutely. And if you have more questions about selecting a dog, give us a comment below. We're happy to answer any questions. If you already have a dog and maybe you're feeling overwhelmed with training, definitely visit our website, dogtraining360.com, where all of our online training videos are available for you to log in and start training right away. Train at your own pace. Make sure to like and subscribe this video so you can get more of our great content as we continue to give you information about dogs.